Told Barbara this morning, my message is for me this morning. Pain and discomfort, curse or a blessing. Right now, it's kind of... You know, I think that we've been conditioned as a society when we have some pain and discomfort, first thing we do is run to the medicine cabinet or go to the doctor or the chiropractor or the shrink and say, fix it. I'm uncomfortable. I'm in pain. And granted, there are times when those professionals do remarkable, wonderful things to help us. But I think too many times it's about our lack of awareness, about listening to our body when we have a headache. Why are we having the headache? Maybe we didn't eat, maybe we didn't have coffee for a long time and we need to have coffee or we get a headache. Or maybe there's just a whole lot of stress going on in life and we aren't paying attention to what we're doing and how we're dealing with that stress. There's a quote. I found it quite by accident. The second quote on your page, I think it's about the most profound sentence I've come across in a long time. Most people do not listen with the intent to understand. They listen with the intent to reply. And I talked about our health issues, our personal body pains and stuff, but I think that goes right along with when we listen to other people. They can make us very uncomfortable. They can give us a lot of pain. And I think too often we don't listen with the intent to understand. We listen with the intent to respond. Well, he made me angry. How am I going to get back? There's another kind of pain and discomfort that we experience, all of us, and that's growing pains. We're all here, I think, with the intention to grow in our knowledge, grow in our awareness of spirit in our lives. And sometimes that can be a painful process. Sometimes it can be very uncomfortable. I was reading here a week or so ago a great metaphor for that, or an analogy. I'm not sure what the right word is, but it's like trees lose their bark, or their bark expands as they grow. And each of us has this protective coating we have around ourselves, our boundaries, and the little pieces of fencing and armor that we keep up to protect us in places that we are vulnerable. But as we grow, we need to let go of those old boundaries, let go of that bark that protected us, because we're bigger than we used to be. We understand more. We are aware of more of the activity and the presence of spirit in our lives. Even our egos, and I thought this was very interesting as I read it, even our egos grow to include others instead of just me. As we develop this we consciousness rather than the me consciousness, we still have that ego, but it's grown. It includes more than just my little comfort zone. And I think that perhaps there's one other area of life that every single one of us experiences pain and discomfort. And that is anger and hate. And every single one of us in this room has those experiences. And how do we make that go away? Vivian wrote about it in the Inquiring Minds this week. It's that most important F word, forgiveness. Our inability to forgive, well, we forgive and forget, maybe. But then how come we still get bitter when we think about an experience that was 13 years ago, 24 years ago, 6 months ago, either with someone else or even ourselves, because we haven't forgiven it. We haven't released it. We haven't let go of it. And when we're having this anger, and that's pretty common with most of us these days, and frustrations, can we accept that there are just events? Maybe there's something that occurred in that experience that we're supposed to learn something by? Is there something that we're supposed to, whoa, I always seem to bring out the worst in folks. Maybe I should take a look at me instead of just trying to respond and get even and stand up for me. Maybe there's something I ought to investigate, think about, consider. Maybe need to do a little changing. Maybe we need to do a little forgiving. I think that most of the time, pain and discomfort is the best teacher that we could ever have. My dad used to tell me right after we came back from the basement and my backside was very warm. He'd say, well, son, he said, it's a fact. The lessons that hurt you the most are the ones that you remember the longest. And I think maybe instead of dwelling on the pain, maybe the pain is a great teacher. Maybe there's something to be learned from the pain. Maybe there's something to be learned from the discomfort. Maybe a different tack to take on how we interact with other folks. Maybe we ought to pay a little more attention to our bodies when we hear it screaming inside. Why? We're always too quick to, just give me some of those brown pills or green pills or yellow pills. They make it go away. Maybe it's not supposed to go away until we resolve, till we understand why we're having that discomfort or pain. Curse or a blessing? Perhaps a little of both. But I think much more a blessing, much more a tool for us to expand our awareness, expand our understanding, and truly listen for the purpose of learning something, of understanding something, rather than just, how am I going to respond to this? I encourage each one of us, when we feel that discomfort of anger or pain or insecurity or anxiety, instead of responding right away, Let's ponder that a bit. Why are we having that experience, that unpleasantness, that uncomfortableness, that pain? Sometimes it means you better go to the doctor and have an operation really fast. But I think all too often it means that we aren't paying attention. We're just doing the same old thing, expecting maybe a different result. That's all I'm going to say this morning. It's summertime. There's so much going on in our worlds and so much joy that we can share. Last night was a perfect example. There's so much going on in August in our community and in our families. Let's not be in pain and discomfort. Let's spend a little more time listening, figuring it out, maybe making some adjustments. We'll feel better, I'm sure. And so it is. Let's talk about sing about a wonderful world.